whoa, whoa. Hey. I need everyone.
Okay, enough of that. So today, we're going to be talking about a lot. I'm probably going to have to go live and discuss this matter. Um, but I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, and this is part of the reason why. Um, that was Meg Thee Stallion, twerking at one of Kamala Harris's campaign rallies. I believe that was in Atlanta. If you, as a presidential candidate, can't make proper decisions as to what is appropriate for your campaign, then how can we trust you as commander in chief of the United States of America? How can we trust you with such power, all right, to make certain decisions that are going to impact the entire nation if you are unable to decide what's appropriate for your campaign? I don't want Kamala Harris to become president and then America just runs wild with ratchetness, um, because it surrounded her campaign. All right. Obviously, there's negatives associated with Trump. He doesn't have my vote either. Really, both of them are really dead in the water with me because they don't support reparations, and that's something that's big for me. But I'll get into that later. But that's just very annoying that she would allow that. She needs to come out and condemn that behavior and saying that, while she loves Meg Thee Stallion and she feels she's talented, she doesn't support, the twerking at her rallies, and that won't happen again. Do something like that. Stand up. Be bold. Be brave. Because that's ridiculous. Okay. A lot of people are, saying that they're going to vote for Harris, pretty much regardless. A lot of people are stuck on stupid. They're uneducated. They don't know a lot regarding voting. And it's really sad. But I talk about it in my book, Black Supremacy. If you go get it on page 242, that's the chapter that discusses politics. And I'm going to read from my book today. Because I want people to have an understanding. So part of my book, I quote Malcolm X, his Ballot of the Bullet speech, because he's an ancestor. People always say, a lot of black people, they'll say, oh, go vote. Your ancestors died for you to have the right to vote. So something that I say in the book is, your ancestors died so that you could have a choice they did not have. I'll say that again. Your ancestors didn't die for you to vote. They died for you to have the right to vote. They died for you to have the choice to vote, because they didn't have a choice. They just could not vote. So never let someone say or guilt you into voting because they're like, oh, your ancestors died so you could vote. No, your ancestors died so you could have the choice to vote, and not if you wanted to, you can't. It's a choice. If you want to vote, go vote. If you do not want to vote, do not vote. They died for you to have the choice. All right. And in Malcolm X's Battle of the Bullet speech, he made it very clear. Him and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I feel, were the face of the civil rights movement, while there were, several other people that you could name. I think it's pretty clear that they were the face of the civil rights movement. And in his Ballot of the Bullet speech, in 1964, he said, the political philosophy of black nationalism only means that the black man should control the politics and the politicians in his own community. The time when white people can come in our community and get us to vote for them so that they can be our political leaders and tell us what to do and what not to do is long gone. Additionally, he stated, By that same token, the time when that same white man, knowing that your eyes are too far open, can send another Negro into the community and get you and me to support him so he can use him to lead us astray, those days are long gone too. So, this is for all of the people who think that they're just going to go vote for Kamala Harris because she's black. Historically speaking, what has she ever done for black people that was positive? What has she done? She specifically said that she is not going to do anything that is just for black people. She has never come out and said support reparations. She spoke about the Lift Act, which would benefit all people who have a household income below 100,000. That is still not talking about equity for foundational black Americans who are descendants of slaves and righting that wrong. So what has she done? What you're going to do if you elect her is going to be putting her in office, and then you're going to get nothing from it. And in return, you're going to get a whole lot of negative. Okay? It's no different than Mayor Eric Adams in New York. Black guy in office doing a terrible job, putting immigrants first. The economy is terrible. He's not doing anything to benefit New Yorkers. Crime is high. He's not doing anything. But if you voted for him because it's a black face, then when you get negative repercussions for you get the repercussions for your vote. This is what happens. Um, New York is a Democratic state, so I presume she will win in New York, but we'll see. It's pretty close right now in New York because, like I said, a lot of people are just disturbed with the Democratic Party. People like Eric Adams and what they're doing, and they don't want to vote Democrat. Um, but that just brings me to the knowledge portion. A lot of people do not even know how many candidates there are for presidency. You, right now, take a guess. How many candidates are there for president? President of the United States? 2, 4? How many? Okay. Try over 1,000. Okay. And just be honest with yourself because people don't know this stuff. A lot of people don't. Okay. Let's look at some information. The Federal Election Commission. All right. So we look at this website. Right there, you can see it says registered 2024 presidential candidates. And if you scroll down, all of these people are registered with the Federal Election Commissions for presidency. Okay. You look at this data, it shows you, and I talk about this in my book, how many candidates were registered for presidency in 2020. 1,212 total. In 2016, it was 1,762 people registered as presidential candidates. 2020, we had 323 registered for presidency for Democrats, 164 for Republicans, 725 for other parties, Libertarians, Green Party, etc., and then the total number. So we have that same thing now, right? You see different parties: Democratic Party, Republican, Independent, Nonpartisan, American Independent Party. It just keeps going. All of these different parties, right? Nonpartisan Green Party, American Independent Conservative Party. All right. a lot of people don't realize that the two parties that are the most popular are the ones that are funded the most. So the Republican and Democratic Party are funded the most. A presidential campaign costs millions upon millions of dollars. That's why they have people who sponsor them and donate. You need millions and millions. When I say millions, these campaigns, they raise over 300, 400 millions of dollars to fund the commercials, to travel from state to state, private jets, all of this stuff. All right. So if people are registered and you don't hear about them, they can't get on, the popular TV shows, radio stations. They can't promote themselves. You have to do your due diligence. You have to be aware of stuff like this, and you have to be informed. All right. The main people in our face right now, and this is when people know of like 4 to 8 people, right? They know about Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, Chase Oliver, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Marianne Williamson, Jill Stein, and Cornel West. I think those are the most popular candidates that people who are somewhat informed would know about. All right. Let me stop sharing real quick. What you should do, what you should know before going to vote for these candidates, you should know what is their stance in relation to things that you care about. How do they feel about Roe v. Wade? How do they feel about, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms? How do they feel about stop and frisk? A Terry stop, Terry v. Ohio. Did I already say Roe v. Wade? Reparations, how we're going to deal with poverty, healthcare, free healthcare, student loans. There's so many different topics. The people who are really organized, they have whole websites that address each talking point, and they state what they're going to do with it. I have posted on my Facebook an interview with Marianne Williamson. She was addressing reparations and her plan for reparations. She said she supported it and how we could dish out the funds. That's what you should look at. And your state, if a person's not on the ballot, because usually a person has to be, let me share this, a person has to be on the ballot. They have to, each state has, a board of elections, and the people are on the commission. I mean, not on the commission, filed in that state. So if you click here, you can see who are the likely candidates to be on the ballot in your state, right? So this was before, these are the people who are filed and capable of being on the ballot in New York State. Biden, Phillips, Williamson, Marianne Williamson, Donald Trump, what does it say? Ramaswamy, Christie, and Haley. So they're going to have to change that to Harris. They have the money, they have the funding to just simply change that. But this is New York State. You also can do, let me unshare that. You also can do write-ins, though, for people who are not on the ballot. You have to file paperwork according to with what your state will allow. So you usually do it ahead of time if you want to be able to write in a ballot, a name that's not on the ballot. Otherwise, your vote won't count. So that's that. You can do a write-in. You would just call the Board of Elections in your state, discuss the matter, tell them that you want to be able to do a write-in. They'll tell you the paperwork to fill out. You'll be able to do it. 9.9 times out of 10. So another thing, we know that we have the Electoral College. I'm tired of people saying that. The president of the United States needs 270 votes to win the presidency. Those votes go through the Electoral College. Yes, we know that. Okay. I'm tired of hearing people saying we don't elect the president, it goes through the Electoral College. So what happens is we vote, we're the popular vote, 99% of the time, right? The Electoral College agrees with the citizens. I think in history, there's been like 4 times where the Electoral College did not agree with the citizens' vote. Now, so like in New York, we have 28 Electoral College votes. So if the citizens of New York vote and it's majority Democrat, then the Electoral College is going to agree with the citizens and give the 28 votes to the Democratic Party. They usually agree with us, right? So people can stop saying, "Oh yeah, we don't elect the president." You know, the Electoral College is all right. We know how the process goes, or you should, right? But they usually agree with us. Now, what can happen is because a state like New York is highly populated, California too. California is notoriously Democratic as well. It sort of balances out when we start looking at states like Texas and Florida, who are usually Republican. Um, but what happens is it can be close. So, like, let's say, like in New York, for example, let's say a person wins by 5,000 votes or 3,000 votes or something, a small margin. Across the country, um, let's say in California, the other opponent wins by a large margin. The person with the majority votes can end up losing. So, nationwide, the person with the majority votes can lose because of how the electoral college process works. However, each state, since the electoral college is not, equal because it goes off of population, there are states with, I think California has the most, around 40, and then there are states with 3 electoral college votes. So a person can have the majority of the nation voting for them and still lose the electoral college as a whole. All right, that's how it works. Um, but basically, do your homework before you go vote. Do your homework. If you choose to vote, you don't have to vote for Trump or Harris. Think of what would happen in America if people chose to not vote for either, the Republican or Democratic Party. And I think as a nation, we should have more than 2 or 4 candidates anyway. I really think we should have more than like 4 to 6 popular candidates in our face. I think it should be a wider selection for people to choose from when you're talking about the nation, right? I think we have more than enough time to campaign for a year, longer than a year, more than enough time to the people who are serious about really voting and being, you know, invested in what they vote for. We'll take the time to look into different candidates. So I think that's something we should think about. Imagine if everyone just said, you know what? Trump, you're not enough. Harris, you're not enough. I really want to look at another candidate and give them a fair shot. This whole lesser of two evil things makes no sense. That's like voting for Slave Master 1 or Slave Master 2. Oh, well, I think this one is going to be better. This one is not going to be as harsh. Like, makes no sense. So, like I said, I plan on going live, having a discussion with this. Y'all can let me know in the comments if y'all think I should go live. If there's anything specific you think I should talk about, yeah, let me know. Peace.